Hello and welcome to your messages this week. Today is Sunday, the 27th of October, 2024. So this is our last week of October. Obviously November is coming in at the end of this coming week. So look out for the November messages, which I'll be posting very soon. If you haven't already seen the messages for the month of October, link in the description, video in the end screen about thinking with the heart and other relevant messages. So yeah, check those out. Also, this week we have Halloween. So Halloween is a time when the veil between the physical and the non-physical world is very thin. So we can tap in to the higher realms very easily. Be really careful, though, what you put your attention on. If you do celebrate Halloween, please be careful about where you put your attention, because obviously we create through our attention and through our thoughts and through our emotions, the frequency of our emotions, and through our words. We know that. So let's keep mindful about how we celebrate Halloween if we do. Just want to get that one out of the way. What else have we got going on? So, Tarot and Beyond, free online event with me and the lovely Liz Nagel. So the next one is on Sunday, the 10th of November, 7 p.m. in Spain, 6 p.m. in the UK. Got to be careful with the American times, because we have just in Europe put our clocks back, and I think America and Canada do it later. So please check times for the next couple of weeks. But Tarot and Beyond is a free online event. The Zoom link to join is on the homepage of my website at deborahjanesatin.com. Also, if you're interested in tarot and you want to learn to read tarot for yourself, I'm offering another Learn to Read Tarot online course. It's starting on Monday, the 18th of November at 7 p.m. Spanish time, 6 p.m. UK time. Check the times in other countries, please. And yeah, we'll be covering all the basic interpretations, the elements, the astrology, the numerology, the symbolism, and also I'll be sharing my own interpretations, which if you're watching this, you'll already know some of them. But most importantly, I really enjoy helping people find their own unique place in the path of reading tarot, because we all see life from a very unique perspective, and it's really important that that we express that, and we'll express it through our passions and our joys and our excitement and what comes easily and naturally to us. So people will be reading tarot very differently, and that's what's so beautiful about it, I think. So I also help people tap into their own unique style of reading tarot by helping them tap into and heighten their own intuition, to become an intuitive card reader. And the beautiful thing about reading tarot is that, a lot of people might doubt their intuition. That often happens in the beginning. You have to learn to put your human mind to one side, and just say whatever is coming through. And after a while, you start trusting that. But in the beginning, it is quite difficult. But if you do doubt your intuition, or if you're not feeling very intuitive, of course, reading tarot, you can still read them as in whatever the basic interpretations are of the Rider-Waite deck. I refer to the deck that I'm using now. And so you can still get some messages just by understanding the meaning of the cards, right? So it's a bit of a win-win, however you're feeling, you can get some kind of message. And it helps you tap into your own higher guidance, which is the most important thing to do, is it not? Okay, so on that theme, activate now your own intuition so that you can tap into any guidance, any personal guidance that comes through for you. As I say certain words, you might have your own way of interpreting the cards or interpreting what I say. So let's take a little deep breath and just center ourselves and see what guidance is coming through this week. Thank you. Oh, they do seem quite chatty. Anything else? Not too many, please. Yeah, we're going to leave it there. There's 5 cards. They're face down. That's how I like to work. So let's dive in and see what's going on. I always make that little laugh, don't I, when I see something like this? The Tower card moment. Not surprised, of course. Everything falling down around us. It could be on a large scale, it could be on a small scale. It basically means disruption and chaos. But we know, don't we, that the disruption and chaos is the universe taking us where we need to go. It's the universe taking us where we need to go. Very often, and I heard a story about this yesterday, funny enough, but very often when we have a delay, you can't make the train that you wanted to make, or you can't make something else, that you wanted to do. And then later you find out that, well, you were in the right place at the right time for another experience. When you understand that and you really believe in all of that, then there's no worry at all. It's like, oh, something's not working out. That's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, because if something's not working out, it means that it's not for you. You're not meant to do that thing, or you're not meant to do it at that time, or you're not meant to do it in that way. Okay, it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't matter that something's not working out for you. It doesn't matter that you've missed your connection flight. It doesn't matter that you've missed the train. It doesn't matter that no one's coming to your event. It doesn't matter that, your project has failed in your eyes. Failed. There are no failures, right? When you think like this, because it's like, okay, so the project didn't work out. So that means I'm meant to be doing something else, So rather than striving and pushing and even things that have been successful, these, because we're evolving all the time. So we're not meant to be offering the same services. We're not meant to be doing the same job. We're not meant to be thinking the same way. We're not meant to be like having the same friendship group all the time. There are some that we are meant to keep for a life, and there are others that we're not. And it's all okay. So this disruption and chaos is always for our benefit. Of course it is, because here you've got the lightning coming in. I mean, that's what's causing the tower to collapse. But lightning, it's pure light. The light is coming in. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? Because these people were not going to shift because they were in their comfort zone too much. And they probably were not connected, right? So this might be why it's coming up this week, because of what I've already said about Halloween. The veil is very thin. So we're getting kind of guidance. So these people were probably sitting in the tower, disconnected from their own guidance and not doing what their soul wants them to do. And I hear this a lot. People talk about, like, chronic fatigue and things like that, anxiety, depression. These are all symptoms of people not doing what their soul wants them to do. Because when you do what your soul wants you to do, you feel elated, you feel healthy, you feel energized, you feel abundant. So, if you are feeling tired or, depressed or anxious or something like that, it's a case of just being in the moment. Give yourself time just to be. Relax your shoulders, close your eyes, and ask yourself the question: what does my soul want me to know? What does my soul want me to know? Now, this is where, if you do have a channel to your higher self, obviously, this is where you're going to use it. Talking of reading tarot, see, if I was in that situation, I would take the cards. I would relax, put myself into that meditative zone, and I would ask the cards, what does my soul want me to know? And it depends what floats your boat, right? Because for a lot of people, like I've mentioned before, like with the soul readings that I do, people dominant in second, energy center, divine creation, they're the ones that have this really close relationship with plants. I mean, we all have a close relationship with plants. Obviously, we all have all of the energies, but the ones dominant in it, they're the ones that literally talk to trees and talk to plants. I mean, we can all do it, right? especially this week when the veil is thin. But they're the ones that would be hugging a tree and saying, what does my soul want me to know? Or you could be talking to your spirit guides. What does my soul want me to know? That's the question, really, isn't it? What does my soul want me to know? When you have a tarot card moment. So, what I really want to say with this card is please don't be afraid if things don't work out. Don't get irritated or angry. Just understand that the universe is taking you where you need to go. And things are speeding up now with this great awakening. And if you haven't been listening to the messages, or the messages haven't been coming in for you, don't be surprised if the universe like disrupts everything and changes it. It could be a relationship ending, it could be a job ending, it could be where you're living changing, it could be a group of friends changing, it could be on a health system as well, because our bodies are now embodying this higher frequency light. And as we embody that higher frequency light, everything's raising, right? Obviously, the frequency of our energy body is rising, and therefore the density, any density is going to go. And when that density goes, it's a detox. I mean, basically, what's happening is the universe is giving us a detox. And when we have a detoxification on in any way, you do sometimes feel the symptoms, don't you? You could be clearing yourself out digestively, you could be clearing yourself out in all sorts of ways, and it's going to manifest as the darkness or the the density or whatever isn't serving us, whatever's being detoxed, the toxins, I guess. Then we're going to feel it, aren't we? We're going to feel it. So yeah, this could work on all energy levels, of course, because it's symbolic of systems and things in the collective that are also collapsing. You know, the education system, the medical system, big pharma, you've got the political system, all sorts of things. There's disruption and chaos. Oh, I didn't mention for the Americans, of course. It's a big week for the Americans coming up. No, that's next week, right? But yeah, it's coming up, right? So yeah, disruption and chaos. There's a lot of disruption and chaos. And let's also understand, yeah, it's important that this is all happening in the physical, right? Because obviously, there's this division going on. I mean, especially talking to Americans now with their election and everything, there's this big divide, and we really don't want to add to the division. We really want to be able to love everyone and love everything. Wow, that's a big ask, isn't it? Depends how you look at it. But I think it's really important as well to say at this time. And I'm going to mention Bashar. I don't know whether any of you listen to Bashar, but I've heard quite a few comments from Bashar about this as well, and it really resonates with me. But there isn't just the one world. We think that there's a one world, but it's kind of difficult to explain this. But it's because we believe that there's only one world, then there is a one world scenario going on in our reality. But it's a belief because there isn't only one world. We all are creating our own reality, and our reality is reflecting us and our beliefs and our perceptions, our frequency, our level of consciousness, the frequency of our emotions, and all of that. We know that, right? But when we share a belief with somebody else, then it's making it more concrete in the physical realm. It's making it more manifested in the physical realm. So a good example of this would be the spherical Earth and the flat Earth. Now there's division again. I see a lot of it. There's division about this. And there's arguments on both sides, but it's like, hang on a minute. We're all creating our own reality. So if you believe that the Earth is a globe, there's more people that believe that the Earth is a globe, right? So that is a concept existing in a dimension because it's been brought in through the perception and beliefs of people, of the collective. Now you've got people that believe it's flat, and they'll search for evidence for that, which they will find, because they are creating the earth being flat um, through their belief. So in that will also exist. So they're both right. Because in their reality, and then they get together and they believe this. So there might be fewer people believing that, but in some dimension, the earth will be flat because there are so many people that believe that. Okay, so it's about understanding that, yeah, the more people that believe something, the more it actually gets manifested. And we can see from like 4 years ago, when the media use this concept, they understand this, and they use us against ourselves by telling us things that people then believe, and then they create it from their belief. So yes, things do exist because people are believing it. But then if you choose not to believe certain things, it doesn't exist for you in your reality. And you will find other people that will have the same beliefs as you. This is why finding like-minded people is so important. Because if you have a belief like about creating heaven on earth, about creating a new paradigm where we're all sovereign and free, and we're living in communities that are governed by love and kindness. If you have that belief and you find other people that have that belief, that that's what we're doing and that it's achievable and that we're actually living it now, then that's what you're manifesting. Okay, and then the people over here can believe what they like. Okay, but the more people that believe something, the more it does come into manifestation, if that makes sense. So I think it's really important to look at both sides are true. So when there's this big division going on, both sides are true. You kind of argue till you're blue in the face. It's not about arguing, because people are not going to change their opinion because you've told them your opinion, because their opinion is vibrating at their frequency, and your opinion is vibrating at your frequency. And the only thing that's going to change somebody else's frequency is love and non-judgment. Yeah, loving unconditionally and not judging is the only thing that's going to raise other people's frequency, because loving other people unconditionally is what's going to expand your frequency into your highest frequency, your highest level of consciousness. Oh, I hope that makes sense. Kind of went off on one there, and I don't think the Tower card has ever spoken to me like that before. So it's interesting that came up. Let's see what the others are doing. Okay, we've got looking at everything we've accumulated. And I think what he's doing is he's reflecting on his own life, because he's following on from what I've just said. He's reflecting on his own life, and he's reflecting on what he wants to achieve. He's looking at what he's accumulated. So he's got knowledge in certain areas. He's got experience in certain areas. He's got passions and abundance, because Pentacles is typically abundance. It's practical, it's earth. So these are things that are giving him stability and security. There are things he's good at. There's things he enjoys doing. There's things he's accumulated. It could be money. He could have accumulated this time. He could have accumulated this abundance in some way. And he's reflecting on that as to how he could move forward. So we've got the Tower collapsing, but let's reflect on what have we got? What is deep in our core? Something is going, something is leaving us, right? Or we are leaving something, whichever way you want to look at it. This could be on a very inner self way. It could be the collapse of the ego and the disruption and chaos that causes, because we are stuck. We are stuck in our ego. And one of the things I've kind of noticed a lot, especially well, with myself, but also helping so many people to love themselves. It's one of my biggest passions, is to helping people see the love in themselves, and to love themselves. And in that journey, learning to love ourselves, we identify with ourselves, right? So I was thinking about this when we go into the higher realms and we detach from our identities, the identities that we've created. One of the biggest problems, or that one of the biggest identities that we have difficulty detaching from, is from our human, by detaching from our human and from living life like our human, from thinking like our human. One of the reasons that's so difficult is because we've actually come on this self-love journey and we've learned to love our humans. So that's a progress. This is like we've made the progress to loving ourselves and loving our human, the human avatar. But then, of course, we've created an identity around that human that we've learned to love. You see what I mean? So then when you come to like, yeah, but hang on a minute, you're more than that human, and you've got to detach from, any limiting beliefs or thoughts around that human, but detach from being that human if you want to really expand into higher levels of consciousness. And you think, well, I don't want to detach from being, Deborah, because I've learned to love Deborah. But the next step is to detach from all of that. Does that make sense? That might resonate with some people, maybe not others. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you'll share in the comments. But he's reflecting on all of that. He's reflecting on the things that he wants to keep in his life, feeling into his passions. So there's some things that, and maybe this little pentacle here is an example. Maybe it's something that he has been doing for so long, and he is experienced at it, and he is really good at it, and it brings him in some money, but it's kind of separating from the others, isn't it? I'm wondering whether that's what he's letting go of. I think it could be a relationship, a friend. It could be an idea. I mean, it is Pentacles, so it's probably something that's bringing him in some kind of abundance, something that used to bring him in joy. It could be a hobby, a project. We're letting go of projects that aren't working, aren't we? We're letting go of things that aren't working. And so this is kind of like, even if it is working for him, maybe he's just not resonating with it anymore. And that's a good thing, because it shows evolution, doesn't it? It shows growth. And the very next card is the Death card. So it's all connected, isn't it? It's all very much connected. There is something, and this is very ego connected as well, but the horse shows that you're moving in the right direction. We've got the new dawn here. This is the dawn of Aquarius and all of that. Yeah, because of course, November 19th, Pluto moves out of Capricorn again and into Aquarius. I think we're really going to feel that. I've really been feeling Pluto being in Capricorn again. There's been a lot of rules and regulations and things, but it's all been serving, like renewing passports and things like that. I mean, it's all, for our benefit. It's good. It's like a renewal. It's like a rebirth. This is a real rebirth card. I mean, what do they say? Learn to die when you're still alive, so that you really, if you don't fear death, you don't fear anything. I mean, it's a perfect card. This is the card in tarot that has the greatest capacity for transformation. So something big's happening, and it could be big for some people, and it could be something kind of big on the inside for other people. If it's something to do with the ego, or it's something to do with your attachment to your identity, right? It's equally big. It's just happening on the inside rather than the outside. Do you see what I mean? But this is about letting go of something that you're attached to because you've been doing it for so long, but actually it served you now. And it doesn't mean it hasn't served you. It doesn't mean it's wrong or it's a mistake or, it's failed. This is what people don't understand. You can't have a failed relationship. All relationships are there to reflect back to you and to trigger you or to love you so that you can see in other people yourself. You know, all relationships are like that. Everything is about self-realization. And so there are no failed relationships. Just because you parted ways because the relationship had served itself, that's a successful relationship. You know, when people might say, "Oh, I've got a failed marriage behind me," I don't have a failed marriage behind me. I have a previous marriage which served me. You see how we look at things? There are no mistakes. But there are things that we learn from, and once we've learned from them, we move on because we've evolved, and we don't need to keep doing the same thing. It's the same with our work, our line of work. It's the same with our projects, our hobbies, our exercise routine. You know, I mean, especially as a yogi, you know, I can see how my yoga journey has evolved with me, and how I practice yoga changes as I evolve. And it's meant to. And there is a part of me that keeps thinking, oh, I should go back to doing more, you know, more workout kind of. No, it served me then. Now, what I do now serves me now. You know, it's the same with everything in life. Same with friendships. They shift, don't they? You know, and you get back in touch or you don't. I mean, everything serves us at the time. And if we try and hang on, if he tried to hang on to this when it wants to go, then he's got resistance, hasn't he? And then he's not going to be at peace because he's trying and striving to keep something that wants to go. That's quite a clear message, isn't it? I'm really intrigued to see what the others are. Oh, it's beautiful. This is my collaboration. There's a new people coming in. There's a three of pentacles, you see. Maybe he's meant to be whittling this down. So if you are somebody that does a lot of different jobs, you know, then a lot of different activities in your life. And it doesn't have to be work related, okay? Just different activities. This is about whittling it down. Which ones do you enjoy the most? Which ones bring you the most joy? Which ones help you connect with your higher self the most? Which ones excite you? Which ones expand you? Right? That's what it is, because we've gone from the seven to the three. Here's your three. Pick your three favorite activities. Pick your three favorite relationships. Pick your three favorite whatever. And then you know that that's your step forward. That's where this horse positive movement forward is going. Doesn't mean that you've got to get rid of all the others completely, of course not. But what I'm saying is that this is about focusing on what interests you, what lights your fire. Because this card also is a collaboration card. So it's about collaborating with these people. But for me personally, this card is about studying. It's about studying, and threes are creations. It's the 1 + 1 = 3, because you put two people together and they create something. And threes in tarot are like mini creations. Okay, so this is about moving on through, and this study doesn't have to be formal study. It's about learning more about. Could be learning to read tarot. I'll put the link in the description to all the details for that. But learning something new that's going to take you to your next level, that's going to take you to the next step of your evolution, your transformation. This is the transformation. So there's something exciting here, and you're probably not going to find this or understand that this is your direction until you've been through this. You see how it works? So this is beautiful. So there's some kind of creation. The other message with this card is that you're going to be acknowledged for your achievements. And I'm really seeing this around me because I'm fortunately surrounded by very motivated people, very high vibe people that are following their passions, doing what they love, following the study that interests them, and they are creating amazing, wonderful things, and we are collaborating, and it's really beautiful to see, and the way you know, in my little world, they are being acknowledged for their achievements and what they've learned and how they serve other people, and that's beautiful. that mutual respect, appreciation, exchange. That's living in a community governed by love and kindness. So yeah, this is about following those things that give you the most abundance. Doesn't have to be financial abundance, but gives you the most joy, gives you the most excitement, gives you the most expansion. And they are practical. It's earth. So they are practical, they are stable, they are secure. So you might think, well, how can I, how am I going to make a living doing this? Because, if I get rid of all these ones that, made me more money, it's like, this is pentacles. This is pentacles, this is abundance. It's perfect. You're going to receive your abundance. It might not be in the same way that he was receiving his before, but it's going to be in a beautiful way. You're going to be following your heart, doing what you love, even more, because I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're already following your heart and doing what you love and working in that direction. But there's a big jump going on. I'm feeling this big jump going on. Because of this disruption and chaos, there's something big coming in. So we've got to be prepared to let go of this, and understand that this is the transformation that we need, that we've been looking for, because the very last card this week is the world. This is the new earth. It's the world that you want. Remember what I said in the beginning. There is no one world. There are only worlds created through belief. So if you think the world is an unsafe place, if you think the world is a violent place, if you think the world is, corrupt and greedy and manipulative, or whatever your views about the world, find that within you and raise your frequency to a place of love and kindness. And then you will see, when we all do that, we become the majority, and then we create the world, we bring it into manifestation. We bring a world governed by love and kindness, because we are creator beings. We have that power, but we cannot change what we are perceiving as being outside of us. We know that what we are perceiving as being outside of us is a reflection of a part of us. So if you're seeing a world that you don't like, then what is it inside of you that you're still not liking? Because that's what needs to go, isn't it? But you need to be aware of it. It will go through loving it. You transmute it. You transmute it through loving it. Not by cutting it off and disowning it and, no. We have to, we transmute things by loving them. We have to accept them, understand them, accept the darkness. Of course, we have to accept the darkness. How can we transmute it if we don't accept it? If you look at the scale of consciousness, the map of consciousness for Dr. David Hawkins in his book, Power versus Force, forgiveness and acceptance are right there at the level. I think it's 350. Well, I might be wrong. I don't know. I can't remember all the levels, but it's right there. And when you can transcend that, when you have mastered the acceptance and the forgiveness, that's when you move into 500, which is love. That's living in the state of love. That's not just feeling love. That's living in a reality at the frequency of love. So that we have to accept and forgive. Although forgiveness in itself is an interesting one, which I don't want to get into now. But I will put a link in the description to my video on the path to forgiveness, remembering that actually when you see everything as creation, and as you see everything as serving you in your path of evolution, then and you have love and gratitude for it, then there is no need to forgive anything or anyone. But it is a path. So I'll put that in the description. So yeah, this is quite amazing, isn't it? You see, we can use this disruption and chaos to really find out who we are, what we are, and how we serve. There's our transformation. This is our new service going forward, which is more in alignment with who we really are. And we will be acknowledged and appreciated for it. And it will be collaborating with like-minded people. And that's how we create a world governed by love and kindness. So I just want to end with that beautiful, I would call it an affirmation, but actually Paul Selig in his book calls it a claim. Claim this, okay? If you want. It's optional homework. But I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. Let that sink in. I personally love using the word truth because I'm dominant in divine truth. For you that know about the soul profiles. I'm going to say it again with the word love because a lot of you are dominant in divine love. And even if you're not, love is also a beautiful word to use with this. So join me if you feel to. I know who I am in love. I know what I am in love. And I know how I serve in love. Wow. You see, that is it's an affirmation for me because something's shifted. Just me doing that, something's shifted. And it also because a lot of affirmations when we start saying them, they're not true for us at the time that we're saying them, but we want to align with that truth. And I think it's relevant because I think this is a new service coming forward from us. And so the truth is, at this stage, we actually don't know how we serve, but we're affirming, we're claiming that we know how we serve. And by the time we get to this card, we know how we serve. So that's beautiful. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. So yeah, that's from Paul Selig. I'll put a link in the description to his website as well. I'm ready to go. Time to go. Well, thank you for getting to the end of the video. Have a fantastic week. See you in the next video. Bye for now. All right, dog, just coming.